I am so happy and grateful to be here together with you as we join together in 5 keys to truly thrive in 2025. And I know it may seem very cliche, right? Five, five keys to thrive in 2025. And yet I believe it to be true. I believe that we have the opportunity right here, right now, to really elevate this year. And this comes from really decades, 30 years of working with clients as a transformational coach and as someone who supports people to go from where they are to where they would really love to be, whether it's in business or in life. And this comes from my own experience of knowing what it takes, learning what it takes, and then applying all of those things that makes up transformation. Like, this idea of a new dawn, a new day. Well, again, I believe that this is available for you. So I'm really happy to be here together with you. A shout out to YouTube. This is the very first time that I have gone live in YouTube. And I'm so grateful for another opportunity, another avenue, another way in which we can be together. And so let's get started. When we think about the timing of this opportunity, well, the timing, it could look like, hey, you know what? The new year has come and the new year has gone. And a fun fact is that for many, that is true, in that people who have come into the new year, made resolutions, even set goals, we've already passed an invisible marker called Quitter's Day. And Quitter's Day is a day in which people give up. It's a day in which people no longer are in it to win it. It's a day in which there's so much going on that people lose sight of the direction in which they set out in the beginning of the year. If this doesn't have to be you, and we are here, as I see it, almost like a Happy New Year redo, or we could call it a Happy New Year renew, like a renewal of what's possible. And it's true, we could do this any day of the year. We're so perfectly primed in this day to be together because really and truly, it's almost like that wave of the new year that came in, and then that idea that no, we'll just let it go. Wait. No. Let us celebrate a new year because what I know is it is a new dawn, it is a new day, it is a new year. And quite frankly, I believe an entire new era that we are stepping into. So, again, I'm bringing you 5 keys to thrive. I could bring you 3 keys, I could bring you a lot of keys to thrive this year. I did think it sounded fun. 5 keys to thrive in 2025. And yet, these are 5 keys that you can use to thrive anytime, any day, and in any year. And in this moment, this idea of looking into this year. Now, if we had a crystal ball, right? If we had a crystal ball, wouldn't it be neat to have a crystal ball to really wonder what is inside of this year? And again, as a transformational coach and as someone who has an idea of some of the forecasts of this year, whether we look financial forecasts, whether we look at energy forecasts, whether we look at the forecast of the cosmos, whether we look at the forecast of the weather, many people are asking, Patricia, what do you see for this year? And there are some forecasts. We have economic forecasts. We have political forecasts. There are so many forecasts for this year. So when I'm asked that question, it's a good thing to know what is the forecast of the year. I'm going to share with you what the forecast as I see it this year from many different levels, different perspectives. And yet, when we think about what is inside of this year, well, it's helpful to know this year, it will be a year of change. We have just stepped into a dynamic change that is on the horizon, and you may already be feeling it even today. So, as we step into dynamic change, well, we could either fear this or we could really have some gumption to say, let's go for this dynamic change. We'd like some dynamic change. The thing about change is change breeds many time fear because change, wow, change is change. And it's just not the way that we've lived up until now. And it requires, in times of change, for us to change with the change. Because here's the fun fact of the day. I'll be sharing many fun facts of the day. Is that whatever got us here, whether we love our results or whether we don't, whatever got us here is not going to take us there. And we have the opportunity right now to rise above and go beyond and really take our lives to the next level, no matter what's happening in the world. And let's speak to what's happening in the world. There's a lot happening in the world right here, right now. There's a lot happening in your world right here, right now. There's a lot happening in my world right here, right now. And this is our point of power. And that's why I'm so grateful. I am so happy and grateful to be here, right now, together with you. Along our time together, I want to mention this. You have a chat. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you have anything you want to share in that chat, I will be with you in the chat. I will be answering any questions you have. I will be offering any additional insight on some of the keys, some of the conversation that we will have today. So this is interactive. I am interested in hearing from you and happy for you to be with me right here, right now, and speak to me inside of the chat. So back to, wow, this opportunity at hand. When we think about that question, like if we had a crystal ball, and I see you're in the chat now. Thank you for being there. If we had a crystal ball and we looked into this question of, Patricia, what do you see in your crystal ball? What do we have in store for this year? Well, along with dynamic change that we do not have to fear, there will be a lot happening in this year. Life will happen in this year. We will have great ups in this year. We may have some downs. May have some all arounds. We will have life to be lived inside of this year. When I'm asked that question, what I love to do is let's take our attention off of that question, wondering what's coming up for the year. And my question is, what do you have in store for it? What do you have in store for it? See, many times we look at what's in store for the year, and then we will decide once we live it what this year has been. And think of this example like if we went to a student, let's just say a high school student, and it's the beginning of the year, school year, and we ask the student, it could be any level, any grade, but we ask the student, hey, what do you see for this year? Many times the answer is, how am I supposed to know? I haven't even gotten my schedule. I don't know who my teachers are. I don't know where my schedule is going to fit. I don't even know, who I'm going to be sitting with. I don't know. I can't tell you. don't ask me. But once the school year's over, if we were to ask how was the school year, there would be comments about the school year was this, or the school year was that, or the school year was this. And the same thing can happen for us. Like if we look at this will be a year with all of it in it. The point of power that I'm asking you to consider is what are you bringing to it? What are you bringing to it? And there's a bit of caution here because there could be ideas that, oh boy, here we go. She's going to talk about resolutions or goals or things that really aren't achievable. No, no, no. Stay with me here because I'm asking this question and we are going to do a little dreaming. We're going to imagine a little bit. But just like if we went to the student and asked, well, what would you love? If you had a magic wand and could create any year you would love inside of this year, what would it be? Stay with me. This is not just about hopes and wishes. This is about real results in real time and freedom for life. What I'm sharing with you are tips and tools that if you stay with it, you stay with me here, and you continue on the path that I'm providing, you will see dynamic change this year. And remember, you are the captain of your ship. You are writing this year. And these are some of the indicators, some of the points, some of the topics that I'm asking you to fill in. So when we think about this year, whatever year you would love to live, there could be a lot that you would love to live. And I'm hearing from many, there's a lot that you would love to close the door on and never have to live again. So we're in this conversation of the point of power of transformation. Years don't change just because it's a new year. What changes is the one who's living it. So, this is the point of power, and this is where I really am interested to be with you right here, right now, because stay with me here and things will begin to change for you starting right now. So, think about this year. If you had a magic wand, if you could write it yourself, so there's a lot that we could do. And when I work with people one on one, we look at the entire scope of every single area of life. And then we get to the business of creating that life. But I want you to consider this. Just think with me, be with me, trust me on this. Imagine that it's December 31st of 2025. And you're really happy about this year. There are things that went your way this year. There are things that are really important to you that you experienced this year. I mean, really think about this for a moment. But I'm going to make it easy. It's 2025. You have lived this year. My question for you, what are the three things, just three things you would be celebrating if this was like your year? Three things. Just imagine three things. I'm going to give you time on this. And in the chat, if you want to share with me what might be some of those things. Let's take a peek. All right. You would have fun this year. You would have money flowing this year. I love that. Money flowing this year. Yeah. You would have an expansive year. And maybe this would be a year not only of goals that you would achieve, specific goals, but what if this year could be filled with even greater happiness, greater peace, maybe even greater fulfillment? The more we get curious on what we'd really love this year to be, that is a factor in having that happen and having it be. We could be at the mercy of what happens this year and live it, or we can begin to mold it. We can begin to predict it. We can predict it. We can begin to live it so that then it becomes. So, in addition to the three things you would love to celebrate at the end of this year, let's look at, well, what is it that you would need to stop, need to start, or need to change? Now, here's the thing is that many people lose it here because we have this wish, we have this desire, we have this hope. Oh my goodness, this is my year to what? This is my year to, and many people put a word on the year, and I love that idea. Put a word on this year because when you think about what it is you would love to celebrate at the end of the year, there's a word that you would then say, this is my year to, this is my year of, this is my year to rise and shine. This is my year to go above. This is my year to elevate. This is my year of happiness. This is my year of expansion. This is my year. We want that word. And yet it's not just putting a word on it, hoping that then that's what creates this year. It's about putting a word on it as a GPS, as an indicator that we return to day in and day out. We'll speak about that next in the next key. But this first key, it's important to know, where are we? Where are we going and what is it that we would love to live? And so we have a word, because if we're not careful, we're going to get hung up in all of the goals, all of the parameters, all of the things that we need to do. But let's put a word on it as an indicator, as a reminder. And inside of that, let us look at, what do we need to stop? What do we want to start? What do we need to change? And in this, that's the formula for things to begin to happen, because we're going to remember, for things to change. The great Jim Rohn, he spoke about, for things to change, we must change. And these are some of the changes. I'm going to speak to the most powerful change you can make in a minute in another key that's coming up. But right now, we're still on key number one. What are the three things you would love to celebrate this year? What is the one word that you would decide this year to be, even now? And what are those things that you would need? Maybe it's an action, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a thought. We're going to speak about additional keys, and you're going to see some of the things that maybe you will start, maybe you will stop, things you will need to change. So we're having an idea here, and the idea number one, we could have a whole weekend seminar just on key number one, and yet we want to put a pin in it to know you set the intention. When you stay tuned to that intention, then that's where you're going to be seeing the results. So that's really key number one. Where are you going this year? Not what is in store, what's inside, what's the crystal ball, what's the weather forecast. We can have a lot of forecasts, but the forecasts don't have to have you. You are the one that predicts this year. We don't need a crystal ball. We can know how this year is going to be. I can already tell how this year will be. If I meet with you one on one and we have a conversation, I can already tell you the trajectory that you're on and the results that you will live. Now, the experiences, they'll change. They change year to year, but we can know because we don't need a crystal ball. Stay tuned here, because this is really the first step in your creating a year that you would love to live. To finish up key number one, I always love to ask, if you knew this year was really going to be the year that you decided it to be, with that one word or with the three ideas that you would love to celebrate, we put it in there, we put it on the radar, and we actually go there. The last bit of key number one of these questions that I have for you inside of this is what is it that you're bringing to the party? What is it that you're bringing to the party? What is it that you're bringing to this year? Because here is something to remember, and here's a key that you can take with you, that if this is the only key that you took with you from our time together today, would be invaluable for you, is that this year will actually be what you make of it. This year, repeat it again, this year will be what you make of it. Along with those ideas I just shared, the question, what are you bringing? What are you bringing? What are you bringing to the party? What are you bringing to this year? What are you bringing to this week? What are you bringing to this day? What are you bringing to this time right here, right now? Well, you may be bringing openness. You may be bringing interest. You may be bringing hope. You may be bringing a lot of things, even to this time right here, right now. What you bring, what you make of anything, well, you will determine how it will be. See, if we make things hard, if we really make things hard, they really become very hard. If we say, hey, this is going to be easy, setting our mind. This is about elevated mindset, elevated performance, elevated action, elevated you. So when we think about this is going to be a year of what you're bringing, it's going to be a year of fun. Whatever the changes are going on, let us have fun. It's going to be a year of, wow, incredible opportunity to build some muscles. Are you in it to win it? Are you going to join me to build those muscles to not just survive this year, but really thrive this year? See, that's the opportunity here, right now. And so, what is it that you're putting on your radar? And it's not just what you're hoping this year to be, it's who you are being every day and in every way, and what you're tuning to. And we're going to get to that. It's one of the keys coming up. For now, let's just see. Are there any questions? Are there any comments? Is there anything that I can answer for you on key number one? And I just love, 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 a lot of love happening in the chat. And really, really, really happy. Let's see. Love the idea of the word. Yes, it is. It's powerful. And the abundance of miracles, being in a miracle zone. Well, we are for sure right here, right now. So let's get on to key number two. Now, here's when we spoke about Quitter's Day, that we are only 2 weeks into this year where we are here live right now. We're only 2 weeks in. We've already passed the invisible line called Quitter's Day. It is known to happen the second Friday after the new year. So, whenever that is, this year it happened on January 10th. January 10th, Quitter's Day. So, again, whether people just hung it up or whether they had so many distractions come in, either way, consciously or subconsciously, we have this invisible barrier many times, especially when we're on our own or alone in the process, in which we go back to the way it was. Now, this happens after the new year, as I mentioned, the second Friday after the new year, but it could be the second week. It could be the second day after we say, yeah, we're in it. Second day. And I have seen it. I have seen it with my own eyes, like 2 hours and even 2 minutes after someone has a great idea of something they'd love to live, something they'd love to elevate, something they'd love to create in their life, something they'd love to experience. Not so fast. And that's part of the process. And I think it's important on this key number two to share with you how this works, because I believe that when we know how the pathway, how the formula, how it all works in elevating and expanding and rising above to go beyond, I believe it's really helpful to know what's happening behind the scenes within us, because when we don't know, then it looks like everything is working against us. And it's not true. It looks that way. It's really not true. So, key number two is knowing that anytime we decide to go for something, there's going to be this resistance. No, 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 not so fast. And resistance shows up in distractions, world events, um, events that take place that look like they're out of our control, distractions, maybe within our family, our day, our friends. Distractions happen. It can show up that way. And so the idea is that when we think about, wow, a distraction is going to happen and may take me off of my path, take me off of my mark, I share with you simply to recognize when the distraction happens, to pay attention, recognize, wait a minute, maybe this means I'm onto something. Recognize nothing to fear, nothing to resist, nothing to get angry about, nothing to get frustrated about, nothing to believe that it caught you and took you off track. No, no, no. It's coming in, yes, as an indicator that you are on your way. It can come in forms of distraction, come in forms of dissuasion, like we decide I'm going, and then wah, wah, wah. No, you're not. You remember that we're in a year for change and you better take cover. That could be how, the voice of dissuasion comes in. Or, no, you're not. Remember last year, you never made it out of the starting gate. So, how do you think you're really going to 10x your business this year? You remember you didn't do so well then. How are you going to do it this year? The voice of dissuasion comes in. So if it's not distraction, if it's not dissuasion, then many times I think about this, the third D of what I call the three Ds, DEFCON 3, right? If distraction doesn't get us, if dissuasion doesn't get us, then this DEFCON 3 can come in and really shake us. But the point is to know that things are going to happen and this is part of the process. And to recognize, wow, when this comes in, this is actually good news, and to not fight it. Now, we don't get rolled over and get toppled upon it, under it. It's just this idea of, okay, out of the starting gate, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to. I'm not exactly as far as I wanted to. But what I know is if I stay with it, I will move through this. I will transform it. I will rise above and I will go beyond it. And I will soon be on the other side of this. So let me give you an example. Right out of this year, because this is a transformative year. This is an amazing year where we have a lot of opportunity. And right out of the gate, there are those who are like, wait a minute, they felt the brakes. We had a day in which we were going to do something, or we had a way in which we were going to start something, or this is how it works. Not if it happens this way, it's when it happens this way. This is how it works, whether it's the new year, or whether it's a new goal, or whether it's a new exercise. Doesn't matter what day it is. But especially this year, I have spoken with so many people like, wow, this came in and totally moved me off my track. This is great news. And my new year, right? We know that we're really in it to win it. I'm elevating this year. You're elevating this year. You're going to elevate. We will elevate this year. It's just how it's going to happen. Well, that's a whole nother story that we can have. The idea that this is an amazing, powerful year. And in this amazing, powerful year, the more we come in with, we're going for it, the more resistance we can expect. So, did my first week of this year go exactly how I had imagined and exactly where I thought it would be? I had things just like you did that came my way that changed things up a little bit. And this is where this year, put this in, remember this one. Remember this one. This is a year in this year of change where being detached from having to have things work out exactly like you wanted them, we're going to get great lessons in that this year. So we want to be totally engaged with the conversation, totally engaged with these keys. Use these keys, but be detached on how things come to play. And in this day, thinking about, did your week, the first week of the year, did it happen exactly how you thought? Did you get as far as you wanted? Maybe you even got further. My guess is it didn't happen exactly how you thought it would. And maybe felt like, okay, will we be in the flow with this? Are we still going to go with this? Well, we are here, right now. And that's what happened for me. The flow, I flowed with it. And now we are here going with it. And so we want to recognize when we open up those doors, it's going to come our way and we can have it, but it doesn't have to have us. We can rise above it as long as we continue on. And that's why I'm so happy to be right here, right now with you, so that we can continue the conversation of this year, refocus, do a redo, do a renew, and continue on. Now, there's one question that I have that is a really important one on this one, and we're going to conclude key number two, is I want you to think about of that in which you would love to celebrate at the end of the year. What's the one thing that you can see right now that has been the biggest factor for you in maybe not achieving it up until now? So people will think about, well, money. If I had more money, then I could have already been so much further. It could be health. If I had greater health, if I had greater energy, if I had greater flexibility, then I would. It could be a relationship. If I had a certain relationship, if I were married, or if I were divorced, or if I had this, if I had that, what is it that you right now can see up until now, or maybe even right in this moment, has been that for you? And I'll give you a fun example. Like, let's say it's a rainy day. Well, if I had sunshine, then I could go have a party. If I had sunshine, I could invite people over and then we could have a barbecue. If I had, what is it that if you had it, you feel like you could do it, but right now, whatever you wish you had is eluding you? We want to get really clear on that one. And, when I work with clients one on one and even in group settings, we get really clear on that. Why? Because many times that's the one thing, or one of the one things that can feel like it's holding us back. We want to rise above and go beyond. And the first step is being able to identify it. So if you can identify it right now, way to go. If you can't, that's okay. Sometimes it takes a process, but staying the course, that will come up sooner or later. And that will be one of the hurdles. That will be one of the things to rise above, move beyond, overcome, transform, repattern, release. And once you do, sky's the limit. So that's key number two. And just checking in. I'm just checking in on my phone here, looking for comments, and let's see right here. Um, and we have Leanne. I want to have a little sidebar here and share with you that Leanne is with us today, and the beautiful, lovely, wonderful Leanne. She is with us in the chat, and she is the one that is navigating the chat. And I think she may even be support and helping and having conversation in the chat. And a shout out to Leanne. Leanne, I love you. I'm so grateful that you are here. And thank you, thank you, thank you. You are a treasure. So thank you, Leanne. And you know how to share with me if there's anything that will need immediate attention from me. But for now, I'm loving the chat and loving that you're in the chat and chatting while we are here. Okay, so we are now going to turn up the volume and we are going to begin now moving through the next keys. And if there are any questions on the two keys, then you will put them in the chat. And if you would love to, you know, go deeper, speak more on a personal level about where you are, you can always reach out to me. I want you to know that I'm here for you. That's why I'm here, right here for you to be of support for you in whatever it is and however it is that I can do that for you. So, the best number or the best way, not the number, the best way to have a connect, if you want to have even greater understanding of the keys that we're working with, it's just email me, patricia@patriciabarnett.com, and Leanne will put that in the chat so that you have that. All right. Now, off to key number three. Key number three. So let's look at this. We have an idea of where we're going. We know there are going to be bumps along the way. We don't get held back or stuck. We find our way above and beyond and around and through the barriers, right? The blocks, what look like barricades. We find our way through. And one of the ways that we do that is recognizing how to stay tuned. How to stay tuned. It's how to stay tuned to that in which we decided for. But here's what happens when key number two, recognizing that things are going to come our way, that's when many times people fold. So, whatever we set for the day, like I'm going to have a day of peace. And then something comes in to spark me. And then all of a sudden, I'm not so peaceful. Then my day is not filled with such peace. Key number three is stay tuned. Stay tuned to what it is you set out for. Stay tuned to the word that you put on this year. Stay tuned and remember what you're bringing to the party, because it's what you're bringing to the party that matters. Stay tuned. And how do we stay tuned? Well, we show up. We suit up. We show up every day in every way. Let me give you an idea of what this looks like. On the day of Halloween, we put on costumes, or when we were little, we did, maybe. And if you're in the United States, this is what we did. We put on costumes. We pretended. Now, we're not talking about fake it till you make it. I'm very clear on we do not fake it till you make it. I do want to give you an indication of what this could look like to suit up, show up, and get out on the field as the champion that you are. When we look at this Halloween costume idea, however, what we know is if we were to dress up, and when we were little, I remember dressing up, and whatever I dressed up as, I became. It's like, if I were a little witch, it would be like, or if I were a ghost, or if I were whatever it is, a dolphin, I would become that. And then I would go trick or treat as that. That was just how I love to trick or treat and how I love to do Halloween. And when we have little trick or treaters at our house, we have those who are in character, and then we have those who are not. They're just wearing the outfit that they're wearing, and they show up and they just say trick or treat. It's really fun to see, are they in character or are they not? Now, the reason I mention this is because when we think about key number three, suiting up, showing up, putting on that in which you wish to be, right? That in which you wish to be. So if I would love more fun, that requires me to show up ready for more fun. And if I'm not so fun, I have to say, it's not so fun. See, here's the thing, happy people, they live happy lives. Healthy people live healthy lives. Wealthy people live wealthy lives. Loving people live loving lives. Peace filled people live peace filled lives, no matter what's happening in the world. And so there is more inside of that. And in fact, that's one of the most important keys. And one of the keys that eludes most is this understanding of how to build the muscle to become that in which you desire. It's where most people never really gain, have that muscle to live the life they'd love. It's called navigating the gap. Like we're living a set of circumstances here, and this is where we would really love to be. It's how we're suiting up, it's how we're showing up. And here's the big one, this fake it till you make it. Mm-mm, it's not going to cut it. It is putting it on, living from it, and becoming it. And so it is about in the morning, what is your practice? What is it that you are doing? What is it that you are expanding? What is it and how are you elevating? Because to elevate anything, we must first elevate ourselves. And so this is they're all so important, but this is one of the most important keys I really want to highlight and spotlight because this is where the rubber meets the road. This one is the most important to understand, know how to navigate, because this is the one that if you don't, you're going to fall and maybe never even get back on track until next year comes and then we decide to try to do it again. And the more we're in that cycle, then the more we begin to create a belief that it's not going to ever happen. Or hopefully next year we'll have inside of it what we need to have for us to, no, it won't work that way. Never has, never does, and never will. So, key number three, stay tuned. Stay tuned to peace. When you're feeling triggered, tune back into peace. When things don't look so fun, tune back into fun. And there are many additional ideas. This is all part of coaching. It's all part of the program I created called Elevate. And Elevate has all of this baked in it. That's how we, in a few short weeks, get on the path to ensuring we have the traction to create results, right? Remember, real time, real results, and then a freedom for life. Because once we know the formula, it's like baking a cake. I could take you into my kitchen, teach you how to bake a cake, and then you can go off and bake a lot of cakes, and then pretty soon bake any kind of cake you'd like to make. So, key number three, stay tuned. It's so important. And if you don't know what that means, if you don't know, then reach out because this one, it's imperative. It's almost like a cake. It's imperative that it has an ingredient. And if it doesn't have that one, it's not going to be. So let's make sure that you're aware of what I'm speaking about and then go deeper inside of it so that you can stay tuned and create the results that you would love. There are so many keys that I'd love to share. And again, these are 5 that I believe will help put you on the pathway to truly thrive this year. All right. So, key number four, we're staying tuned. We have an idea. We know how this works. We're moving through. We keep going. We keep returning. We're staying tuned. We take the actions. We have consistency. We build the momentum. And in this, it's really important. Key number four is proximity. Proximity. It is said that those who we surround ourselves with will we become the average of five, the five, the five who we hang out with most. Now, catch this. I'm not speaking to the five people you like the most or the five people that you'd like to become or the five people. I'm speaking about the five people that you spend the most time with. You become, I become. This is a law that we become the average. So we average it all up. We become the average of those in which we associate with most. You've heard that before, I'm pretty sure. And if you haven't, let's get really interested into this key and let us remind ourselves how important this is. So, the five people that you associate with most. I want you to think about the five people that you associate with most. And now I want to share with you it could be people that are actually in your life. And I'm also speaking about the five people that you may be watching on television, watching movies, being on social media with. Who are those five? And it may be more than five. Let's think about this. Why is it that we would become the average of the five that we associate with most? Well, you know, it's kind of curious when we think about how does that happen? And the late great Bob Proctor would say, right? It's their thinking. It's the thinking of the five that you hang out with most, the thinking. And I agree with that. It is the thinking. How do the five people that you associate with most think? Do they think in doomsday? Do they think in, my goodness, every day is a great day? Do they think in, no, 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 don't go there, things may happen? Or do they think that go there, let's see what happens? Are they talking about, thinking about, the um, unhealthy foods they just ate? Or are they talking about, thinking about all of the ways to be healthy, vital, energetic, and live to be, I don't know, 125? Are you hanging out with people who are saying, well, my time is ticking and I think I'm out of here at this age? Or where are you? And even if you feel that you are on the trajectory and track to going where it is you would love to go, there is what Bob Proctor speaks about. It's the thinking, it's the actions, it's the behaviors, it's the habits. It's the habits. And I'm opening the door here to share with you that what I would call it, it's the frequency. It is all of those things. Bob's exactly right. It's the thinking and it's the habits. It's what becomes comfortable. It's what becomes norm. It's part of hanging out, not going too high, not going too low, being in the comfort zone of the five people we associate with most. Remember, if you have five people you're associating with and they're down here in any way, and you want to be up here and you feel that you are and you're helping them rise, great. Make sure you have surrounding yourself with people who are where you would love to be or going where you would love to be. And I'm speaking about the thinking, I'm speaking about the actions, the habits, the results, and most of all, What I'm speaking about here is frequency. And maybe you've heard that word before. I'm speaking about energy. I'm speaking about the idea that there is a frequency. We are either like, yes, this is an amazing day, no matter what's happening and coming our way. And I learned that one. I learned that one in an interesting way. Being diagnosed with a life threatening diagnosis, right? And having an opportunity to find out, wait a minute, it looks like the sky is falling and the bottom's dropping out. And am I going to buy into that, or am I going to set the tone? That's where the formula to elevate, that's where this whole program, that's where this mission that I'm on to help people elevate and elevate the world, or at least give them the formula to elevate themselves, to elevate their results, to then elevate the world. That's where that really became front and foremost for me, is this idea that it's not what happens to us, it happens, what's happening through us, as us. And this is an indicator of what's possible for you. So it's not about firing people or moving away from people or calling people saying, hey, I can't hang out. It's about just simply the recognition, and back to this idea of frequency and energy. I could have a smile on my face, and if inside I'm like, "Arr," you will know it. You will know it. And many people will say, Patricia, you are, the happiest person I know. You can find the good out of the worst. And I believe that to be true. I don't know that I was born that way, but I've developed muscles too. And where we have been speaking about key number 4, we're going to hop right into key number 5, because key number 5, well, this is everything having to do with you. See, in key number 4, it's about what is the frequency. Are people, it's not about being motivated and rah rah and let's go. That's from last year. That's from the last decade. That's from the last century. Pushing, forcing, let's pretend, let's go, go, go. No, no, no. This is frequency. And if you're new to this conversation, energy, vibration, if you're new to this conversation, I have something for you that I'm happy for you to have. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. When we're thinking about we become the average of the 5 that we associate with most, I want to bring your attention, I am bringing your attention to the one person that you hang out with most. You know who it is. It's you. You hang out with you more than anyone else in your life, in your world. You hang out with you. So, what's most important in this conversation? There's so many things important in this conversation, but something right here, right now for us to look at. For things to change, we must change. For our lives to elevate, we must elevate. Let's think about what this means to elevate. I feel that what elevating, living an elevated life, like elevate with Patricia, what does that really mean? Well, here's how I would share what that means. It's about living a life by design. It's about living an inspired life. It's about living a happy life. It's about living a healthy life. It's about living a wealthy life. It's about living a life you love. It's about living a divine life. It's about living, oh my goodness, an inspired life, inspired living by means of you. And that's why key number 5 is so important. You are the MVP of your life. You. You are the one who lives it. And this is why it's really important for us to get really clear on what that looks like for you. Because if you are at a low frequency, you're at a low vibe, well, the first things first, let us take a peek at how you can rise and shine to come to the table, come to the field, to live that life you'd really love to live. But when we're surrounded, when we're immersed, when we're in a frequency, a low vibration, there are many ways to say this word. But when we're here, it's much harder to live the life we love up here. And we tend to think as humans that when we have an opportunity up here, then we shall rise to the occasion. Everything you'd love to live this year, everything you'd love to be, everything you'd love to experience, everything you would love, well, there's a gap. And even if you love where you are right now and you'd like to rise above, we have another gap. I have a gap. I have a gap in where I am right now and what I know is on the radar and on the horizon and what is here for me this year and beyond. There's a gap. And what it's going to require is for me to elevate to it. And so we think about the MVP that is you. It matters, really, really matters. And there's so much more inside of that conversation. This is where we want to remember you hang out with you, and you have more power in you. Oh my goodness. And the power that is in you, well, it's divine. So when we think about all of the things that maybe we haven't lived, all of those goals, all of those dreams, all of those New Year's resolutions that we have had, that we have hoped for, this is no longer hoping or wishing. Every time we hope for and we don't succeed, we create a belief. Not going to happen for me. So pretty soon, I'm going to stop hoping, believing, even creating. All the while, one day maybe. No, today is your day. Today is your day to step in and really connect with the power, connect with that power source that is inside of you. And many people will say, I just must be weak. I just must not have what it takes. I just must, because the forces, right? The forces of patterning, the forces of belief, the forces of experiences, the forces, they're so strong. I must be weak. The winds, headwinds, I'm not going to be able to make it through. No, no, no. What if it's not about you being weak or you being wrong or you being lacking anything? What if it's maybe you're not just plugged in, tuned in, turned on, and living from your highest potential? So, this is the opportunity this year to live from your highest potential. And one of the things that I have for you is something that I created, and I have a copy of it right here because I want you to see the visual of it. It is what I call a guide to happiness. This guide to happiness is, and as it says in the title, it's increasing your happiness starting today. And it's the 7 keys to a happier, healthier, more productive you. We could call this increasing your frequency starting today. We could call this increase your vibration starting today. We could call it a lot of things. The point of this guide is how to connect you with you to help you rise above and step into that life that you would really love. So this is my gift. It's a complimentary guide that I have written that I love to share because in it, there are 7 keys where you could begin starting today. And they are keys that I have created, live by, and help me to rise and shine and go above and beyond. And so we're going to put a link of where you can have your copy. I want to share with you when we put the link in the chat, here's what you're going to find. And this is really important, that when you go to the link, you will have the opportunity to download a complimentary, my gift, free guide, nothing to pay, nothing to do there other than receive this gift from me to you. The other thing you're going to see in this link, because many people, they don't want just a guide, they want to have more, is that because we're here today, there is an opportunity where at 10%, because I do have a whole program, I have a digital program around this, called, creating your happiness, about living your happiness, how to really, really, really up level your happiness in something called your happiness project. So that's a whole digital program, and it is hundreds of dollars. And so what you're going to find by downloading the guide is you're going to have an opportunity at a very, very small investment to receive that program if you wish. Recognize this, it's a one time. You only have this offer one time, and this is the time. So if you'd love that, if you'd love the accountability, you'd love audios, you'd love videos, there's 8 videos inside of that where we get to be together, where I expand on it, and where you have audios that you can go to while you're out and about, videos that you can go to, and it's yours to keep however long you would love to have it. So if that's something for you that is of interest for you, go there and click on it. And again, it's 10% of what it normally is. And that can be yours. There are audios there at a very, very, very minimal cost. And why do we do that? Because I'm here to bring joy. I'm here to bring happiness. I'm here to be the door opener for you to not only thrive this year, but live your best life for the rest of your life. And I'm recognizing that sounds very cliche, but I believe, I know to be true, that this is here for you. So go ahead and, Leanne, if you haven't already, which I see that you have, um, click on the happiness, the guide to happiness. There we have it. Click on the guide to happiness, and that is where you will find this guide that you can download. That is where you will find opportunities to be inside of a digital program with me. And in that, 8 modules with me, not live, but 8 modules inside of that, that will give you even greater opportunity of how you can raise the bar for you. And in doing so, raise the bar in what you live this year. So check that out. And if you'd like to maybe even be inside of an opportunity where I am live and where you're with me weekly, there is also a program that I've developed called Elevate. Elevate for women and men. I know you have women in your life. So if you have anyone in your life that sees that, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to rise. I'm ready to shine. I'm ready for this to be my year. This is my year. I'm not going to let another year go by the way I've been going. I'm here in it to win it, and I'm ready to take it to the next level. Well, then come elevate together with me. And gentlemen, women in your life, ladies in your life, if you'd like to know more about that, then just simply email me with Elevate in the subject line, and we'll have information for you. Again, that Elevate program, it's a digital program, and it's a 12-week program. And in the digital program, I'm elevating this year, and I'm inviting you to come elevate together with me, because inside of that digital program, I actually will be live with you there, where I will be with you every week for the 12 weeks where we will be together. Normally, that is not an option. Normally, Elevate, you're digital, and it's there for you, and the community, the one-on-one opportunity to ask questions, get coaching, have laser focus. Well, I've added that as what I call a trifecta of support for you so that you really do have those results. You really do step into a pathway to freedom every day and in every way, not only in the 12 weeks, but beyond. And I've done this because, well, I've dedicated my life to elevating, and I know this year it's a powerful year. So I'm inviting you to come elevate together with me as I rise, as I shine, so that we are in this path together. It's what I do. This Elevate for Women, I've been teaching this now for a decade and now have it in a digital form available for you. So, again, if that's something you'd love to know more, we start in a week, 1 week from today. And if for any reason um, you are seeing this after this actual live time together, there will be a wait list available for you so you can jump on a wait list the next time those doors are open. For now, if you're saying, I'm in it, come join me. Elevate together with me. 12 weeks, digital program, weekly opportunity for us to be in a group, live one on one, where we will go deeper, have greater support for you. And then you will have the community of like minded people who are surrounding you, going in the same direction as you, and we'll be together every single step of the way. 12 weeks, digital program. And inside of that, well, you are going to have a lot of happiness, trust me, and results right out of the gate. The first 10 people, by the way, just if you're interested, we'll email you the details. In this round, it's an intimate group. The first 10 people in this round of Elevate, as we open up the doors to the new year, you will have a one-on-one session with me to get really clear on some of what we've spoken about already, so that I can be in full support to be with you along the journey and help direct you and offer feedback along the way. This initial session together helps me so greatly to help you. So if that's what you love, then just email me, patricia@patriciabarnett.com. That's how you can find out about Elevate. Otherwise, the link to the Happiness Project, grab your happiness guide, and then step into creating your happiness project where you can begin rising above and going beyond starting today. So, as we close, know this. First of all, let's just check. Do we have do we have anything for me to put my attention on in this moment? Leanne, thank you. I think you have taken care of it. And Leanne, another spotlight moment for you. Thank you for being here and thank you for all that you do. So grateful for you and for managing, taking care of, and being in the community, this community, leaders of the light. And as we end our time together today, I want you to know I am so happy and grateful to be together with you in this day. In this day, you have 5 keys. The idea, 5 keys. 2 weeks from now, will you remember the 5 keys? Hopefully. Come join me. We'll stay tuned to those 5 keys and you'll see the results before your very eyes. Know this, whether you're in a program with me or not, this is your year to elevate. This is your year. The doors are open. You have a dream, you have a wish, you have a hope, you have a desire. You have this opportunity right here, right now, in the doors opening. We spoke about this being a new year redo, a new year renew. And if up until the time in which we connected, you were feeling like you were not on that trajectory that you thought you were going to be when the new year started, then information, support, and everything I have for you will be valuable because that really is what it takes to continue the journey. Doing it on our own, if we could have, we already would have. And that's as true for me as it is for you. Know this, this is your year of transformation. The forecast for this year, change. Change is upon us, change is here. And what will you do with that change? Remember, what got you here will not get you there. Won't do it. And in this year of change, you will either rise and it will take you up, or you will have the opportunity for the change to take you and churn you and maybe take you another way. I'm more focused on the opportunity that you have to have the trajectory in this year of change and transformation take you in a great way. It's like the waves are here, and for a surfer, yeah, we run to the waves. Those who are not surfers and know how to surf, well, the waves can come and take them out. So this is a dynamic year of change and an opportunity of doors opening for you. And I know, because we're here together, that you have a desire to elevate. You have a desire to grow. And I celebrate together with you because this is your opportunity. It's here, it's right now, and the doors are open for you. So whether we're together in a program called Elevate, whether you're with me in the digital program of happiness, I want you to know I'm with you and I celebrate together with you. And if ever along the journey you have questions, you want to circle back, I'm here for you. I am so happy and grateful to be together with you in this day. And as I always love to say, especially when we have an opportunity like this, I'm celebrating you, the power of you, the opportunity and the possibility that is here for you. Sky's the limit. The only question is when we think about this is a new dawn and a new day, a new year and a new life, the opportunity is here. The only question is, what will you create? What do you see? What will you step into? Know that I celebrate together with you, always. And in that, how I love to celebrate is to say to you, cheers. And ta-da! Here's to you. Happy, happy New Year. And I look forward to being together with you again very soon. I'll see you on the other side. And bye for now. Thank you for being together.